morning. We are watching together the preliminary hearing for Kevin Ellis. It's taking place out of Utah. He stands accused of plotting with his family to kill his sister's husband, Matthew Restelli. And right now we're hearing from another sister, not one who's been charged, but related to a couple of the defendants and the victim's sister-in-law.
Did Tracy talk bad about Matt a lot?
I would not say a lot, but she would openly express her feelings about him when Kate wasn't call her, and she would talk about it.
Okay. Did either Kate or Tracy ever talk to you about wanting Kate to divorce Matt?
Yes.
How frequently?
I feel like I've only heard of it within the last couple of years. Like I said, Kate didn't really discuss her marriage status with me and her issues or happiness with him, just based on what I think she was comfortable sharing with me.
I've handed you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1.
Okay.
Did you recognize one? Yes. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, I do.
And what are those?
These are text messages between myself and my mom, Tracy Grist.
Okay, and do you know what date those were?
It is showing as 6/6/24.
Okay, State moves to admit State's Exhibit 1.
No objection.
Thank you, so admitted.
Can you read the text where Tracy was talking about Matt?
Plus, Matt made it so I want to kill him. When Katie asked about whatever I had said about her being in the camper too much when I never said anything, he straight up lied, I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, what is she talking about the camper? Do you know what that story was about?
Yeah, so she had talked to me about it after the fact. She had told me that she was visiting them, I don't know for any specific reason, but she was on vacation at their property and she was staying there at their house. And Matt had told Katie that my mom, Tracy Grist, had confided in Matt and told him that she did not like how much Katie was in the camper. And so Matt had told Katie that my mom had said that, which then, of course, Katie came back and brought it to my mom's attention, which then she claimed that that was a lie that Matt was telling to Katie.
Okay, so just to kind of understand that, so was Tracy upset that Matt was trying to say that, basically pit Tracy against Kate? Is that what that was about?
That's correct.
Okay. And was Tracy pretty upset about that?
Yes.
Okay. So that was in June of this year, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And at some point, did you learn about an air tag being placed in Matthew's truck?
Yes.
When did you learn about that?
I don't recall the day, actually.
Roughly.
I would say a few days before Katie had left. I'm not quite positive, honestly.
Okay. Okay. Were you part of that air tag? Were you able to see the air tag at some point?
Yes.
And who did you learn out? Who put the air tag in the truck?
As far as where it was left in the truck from a previous vacation with the family.
Okay. That's your understanding, is that's how it ended up in the truck?
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know how it might have stayed in there or not, but we used it for a trip and I'm not sure,
Okay. At some point, did the tag, what did the tag say? What was the visual when you would pull up the tag?
It would just say truck and then they changed the emoji to a poop emoji.
Do you know who did that?
From my understanding, it was Carolyn.
Okay. But at some point you realized that this tag was to track Matt, is that correct?
Yes.
So what was your understanding of why she was coming to Utah?
For a break or space from Matthew Restelli.
Do you know when she got to Utah, was she starting to move on from Matthew at that point or anything?
Yeah, I would say so.
Why would you say that?
As she settled and she began to go on a dating app or apps, I'm not sure, but she did start going on dates.
Okay. And that was before the day that Matt was killed?
Yes. Yes.
Did Katie ever talk to you about any of those dates?
No.
Did she ever tell you about talking to an attorney or anything? A divorce
I
attorney?
believe she briefly mentioned that it would be, yeah, I think she did.
Okay. Were there any other conversations that you can remember where the plan was that Kate was actually going to divorce Matt and stay in Utah?
I do know that she was wanting to divorce Matt. I don't remember if there were any plans made permanently for her to stay in Utah.
Let's talk a little bit about the day that Matt was killed. How long had Kathryn been in Utah at that point?
Probably would have been a few weeks, if I'm correct.
Okay. And at some point, did you learn that Matthew was driving out to Utah?
Yes.
When did you find that out?
I couldn't tell you the day. I think I found out the morning that he was driving.
And had you been tracking Matthew at all at that point? On that day?
Yes.
Okay, why were you doing that?
I felt more comfortable knowing where he was at, just to, I guess, know when to expect him and to really that's it.
Okay, was there anything that made you nervous about Matthew coming out?
Yeah, I wasn't sure his state of mind that he would be in arriving, if he would be angry or even if their conversation would be cordial with each other, and so I was nervous about that aspect.
I'd like to approach State's Exhibit 2. Scott. State's Exhibit 2?
Yep.
Okay. Now you approach State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
These are Facebook Messenger conversations between me and my sister, Caroline Fisher.
Okay. And in those text messages, or those Facebook messages, at some point do you talk to Caroline about that phone conversation you had with Katie?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you remember what you told Caroline?
Yes.
What did you say?
I told her that Kate talked him into coming out.
Okay. State would move to admit State's Exhibit 2.
Any objection? No objection.
And do you remember now what that was about or why Katie said that?
As I can remember, I was repeating what Katie had said to me on that call, saying that she had talked Matt into coming out to Utah.
I have State's Exhibit 3. I'd like you to look at that. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
And what are those?
It is text messages between my brother Kevin Ellis and I.
Okay, and are those from the date of July 12, 2024?
That's correct.
And they fairly and accurately represent what the text messages were?
Yes.
State moving the State's Exhibit 3.
Any objection, Mr. Williams? No objection. Thank you. No objection.
And did you text Kevin about 10:01 p.m.?
Yes.
And what did you text him?
Or keep an eye on Find My.
And what did you mean by that?
Throughout our tracking and then checking of the AirTag app, we had come to the conclusion that one person's AirTag would ping the live location, whereas when you compare with another person's, it might be a 30-minute delay or like show the location last known an hour ago. And so that was me extending the location assuming it hadn't updated properly on theirs.
Okay, and Orem what is Orem?
A city just a few minutes away from American Fork.
Okay. So was it your intention to basically tell Kevin, check your iPhone, Matt's close?
Yes.
Okay. And I'd like to hand you what's marked as State's Exhibit 4. You recognize what that is?
Yes, I do.
And what are those?
These are text messages between my mom, Tracy, Grist, and I.
Okay, are those from July 12th, 2024?
Yes, there are some dated back to July 9th, but yes, most of them are the 12th.
And did she, and also at that point, did you text Tracy a text message close to 10 p.m. that night?
Yes.
And what did you text her?
It says Orem. as well as keep an eye on Find My.
And why did you text Tracy that?
For the same reason that I had sent it to Kevin as well, just for the delay in location status for other people.
Okay. And why didn't you text Kathryn that as well?
I had assumed that my mom and Katie were probably together at that point and just hadn't texted both of them.
Okay. Is there a reason you didn't just do like a group text or?
No, I don't know why I didn't just do it as a group text.
The texts are really on trial here. I mean, some of them from about a month before on the wife's phone where she said, I might murder him today, though. And then on the day of the actual killing, she put on a post on a social media site, I have to do big girl things this morning. Wish me luck. Let's bring back in trial attorney Randolph Rice, who is watching this unfold with us. Randolph, the sister on the stand, this has got to be a difficult spot for her. It's her brother, her sister, and her brother-in-law, who's the one who's now deceased.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough position for her to be in, but I think there was one little piece of evidence that may change at least our perspective when we first started this morning was that AirTag, we believe, was placed in that truck intentionally for the purposes of tracking Matt from California to Utah. But Rachel testifies that that tracker was actually left in there from a vacation. That's a slight hole for the defense to go into and say, wait a second, this wasn't intentional tracking. This was just coincidental. We just happened to have it on there from an old vacation. So I just saw something there that the defense is going to be able to use in their cross-examination and trial.
Oh, that's really interesting. And that may be why investigators spend a lot of time talking about how she communicated that AirTag information to her family about 2 months before. She said, I've got an update from his AirTag. I'll keep you posted. So perhaps they have to really show that despite not placing it there, she still, though, got the idea of, I can use this AirTag that's already there to track his movements. It's really fascinating to see how they used all of the digital evidence in this case, including the actual internet searches. The ones about custody. This, again, is the grandmother who was looking for ways to get away with keeping kids, getting kids early passports. If you're in a custody battle, how do you not have to deal with the other parent? These were the kind of internet searches that she had. People just don't seem to know that your internet searches are going to be part of a case in the end of it, Randolph.
Yeah, it never goes away. Whatever you search on the internet, whatever you do with your phone, you may think that you're clearing your data, you may be using some sort of app to get rid of it. It's still there. The data providers, the Googles, the Facebooks, they all keep this information. And on top of the fact that most people don't even really erase the information from their own phones. So the police, when they seize that phone, they put it into a box, they then download everything from that phone, delete it, not delete it, and they're able to then trace back all the movements of that suspect. And I think in this case, we're going to see a lot of that type of evidence being used by the state.
Some of it, of course, coming in through this sister who was part of conversations, but seemingly completely unaware that this killing was going to happen.